Hello. I hope you're not having so many expectations after what John said. Thank you so much for calling Healing today. Thank you for the invitation, for hosting this retreat. I'm going to give you a small presentation of how the business in Healing have changed, have transformed the last years. Healing has a big portfolio and many services for the Greek universities and the Greek research institutes. So I'm going to discuss. Thank you. I'm going to discuss a bit more for our part, which is the negotiation and the licensing part, and how we moved from, or we are trying to move from the subscription model to a read and publish model, or let's say, to be more accurate, to a transformative model. So as I already mentioned, the research and higher education increase is intrinsically linked with healing services, especially in terms of providing access to our researchers in universities and research institutions. We already had our anniversary, more than 20 years we're in the business, and we had, sorry. And we already, we had many high usage of our content, of both journals and electronic books. And of course, the last couple of years, due to the pandemic, this usage was even higher. And we estimate that the last 2 years, only for ebooks, we had more than 3.5 million downloads for those 2 years. So what I've been doing from 1998, that Healing was originally established, we had our first agreement with a major publisher, with Elsevier, and also with Springer Academic Press and MCB. Back then, our main focus was to set the policies on journal subscriptions and how we can possibly promote the journal growth within our members. And of course, all this by making the savings we could make, because we get the central funding from the government. We do not get funding from each member separately. And how we can possibly offer the best and more advanced services to our members. We understood that even by the beginning of Healing, we knew that we were discussing for big deals. That means a huge, the great packages from publishers that we had to negotiate over those. That was then, and that was until, let's say, roughly 2015. But what changed our perspective and triggered that shift from the subscription model to a more transitional model? So back in 2016, we had the chance to attend a meeting, a workshop held by Max Planck Institute for open access. And we then, when we realized that we are above France in publishing open access, even in 2015, we knew that we had to move from one point to another, following this trend. So in 2018, we signed the expression of interest from Max Planck, and at the same year, we also had a declaration signed from the countries from the south, which actually Healing is one of the founding members of the CEL consortium. Also, apart from all the data that we gathered from Max Planck, we also that revealed this trend from moving from a subscribed model to a transitional model. We also had to consult several papers or several let's say, cases. And we also saw that, let's say, from the proportion of the articles published in a way from 2016 was higher than 4 years ago, and that also gave us a boost to move forward and to start considering how we can succeed to this transformation. All these publications, and we understood that the cost was unbearable just for the subscribed model, but at the same time, we have to find a way how we can possibly fit this change with our budget, which was a really problem like in any consortium in the world. So we also had to take under consideration how the workflow in scholarly communication was changing. And we understand that it wasn't just us, I mean the libraries and the authors or the researchers. It was other people also involving, other stakeholders involving in this chain, and it was, let's say, the research funders or even the society, and of course the publishers. So we need to reconsider. So we thought that how can we possibly be flexible and adjust those changes and to meet, from one hand, our researchers' needs, and from the other hand, to respond to this global initiative, and of course, all this within a context of having a really strict budget, especially in Greece from 2012, 13. It was the financial crisis that was affecting our business. So we thought, from one hand, the transformative agreement, and of course something like mix and match, which is actually what we do, although there is no such a term, right, Anne? The mix and match in transformative agreements. So, but it's something that we are trying to do to mix both subscription and transformation. We had new benchmarks. We had some methodology and the knowledge acquired within all these years that we've been working with publishers, and we were trying to understand what is the scope of these transformative agreements. And we concluded that those are, let's say, transitory agreements that are not precluding or opposing to scholarly publishing, but actually what they do, it's a process to strengthen and spread the open access. So for us, it was really important to follow some main principles which had to do with the sustainability of the new way, of the new path we are trying to follow, and also to be as inclusive as possible, meaning that since we get a central funding from our government, we need to include all universities and all research institutions, and to offer the same services and the same content to all of them. The defining factors to move forward to this transition was, of course, like in any case, to map our position, to set the policies in order to start the negotiation process with our publishers. We had a comparison from previous years, and we had financial data in terms of publication cost and cost per download. The next thing that you see on your screen is the monitoring of publication. This is a very ambitious project that provided us with the relevant data for monitoring this negotiation process and the renewal. This project is initiated by the Scholarly Communication Unit from the University of Patras. And actually, it gave us and still giving us a great overview and idea of the publications, the trends, the perceptions of our researchers in Greece. And of course, all this, we have also a law in Greece that we need to upload any agreement with publishers on the public from the public sector, which is actually healing. We have to upload it on a governmental portal that's called Diavia. That means transparency. So it's everything up there. It's everything uploaded. The terms, the pricing, the content, everything is there. How about the alignment of stakeholders in terms of libraries and university leaders? We have our General Assembly, which is representative from each university, and actually this is a collective decision. So when we want to move forward with one option or other, it's a collective decision. The other really important thing for us is the scholarly communication unit that I've mentioned earlier, which has done a great job, and it's a great asset for the negotiation team of healing. This unit has set up an open access group with representatives from each participating university, and we are having webinars, we're having meetings in person, brochures, questionnaires, and that way the unit is disseminating a portion of the Greek scientific production in terms of research output, APC payments, etc. And let me tell you that the APC payments in Greece, it's not easily findable because funding comes from different and not easily attributable sources. I forgot to mention maybe the most important part, that we managed to have an open science committee at the last rectors conference we had in December. And we have a national representation at a coalition of national open science committees. This is on a European level. And this is important for us because we think that this will help all the negotiation process, and this will speed up the transition that we want in terms of not only of open access, but also in open science. Of course, there are budget constraints like everywhere. We cannot estimate the cost, so we have to move step by step and to see whether the offer we get from a publisher is viable or sustainable. We have also doubts regarding the allocation of funds for open access publication. The last part, and maybe the most important, and I think the biggest obstacle we are still facing, is how we can more engage the academic community in this transformation. So maybe from one hand, they understand that it's an opportunity for them, their participation and their presence in science communication by publishing in open access, and that their work will be more visible and gain more reputation. Maybe this is something that they can understand. But since the system in Greece is not providing them with some incentives to do so, or it is completely adjusted, the publication process is completely adjusted to the evaluation metrics of their work, or even of scientific publications, you understand that to change this mentality of our researchers takes a lot of time. And it's, let's say, it's it's good to see that it's not only happening in Greece, but it's happening also in other countries. We like this engagement of our researchers. And of course, we still have doubts whether our government, our ministry, will continue to support the open access and all these initiatives and all this transformation we are trying to achieve. And the open science policy, which was it's a national policy on open science, was written in 2020, and it's a major let's say plan for transforming the landscape in Greece towards open science. We want to believe that something will come out of this. Natalia Manola will speak a bit later on this, on the open science initiative. And just my last slide, which are the publishers we are having for 22 to 24. We managed to achieve a total read and publish agreement with Cambridge University Press and Institute of Physics. With a couple of publishers, we managed to have a big amount of publications to open access based on the research output from previous years. In all cases, we managed to have almost 85% discount on APCs, and that's why we moved to this model, and we said yes to this transformation, because other way it could not be possible. And of course, we are supporting open access initiatives like Scope 3 and Open Library for Humanities. And we're doing this business with a lot of collaborative work and a lot of determination. Thank you very much.